It's time I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
Oh yeah, and we have the key for the box in the salon. Wonder why he's standing. Let's. We have keys for the dinner. Just can't go this way. Just there to block.
You are expected in the small salon, sir.
That's why I guess.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis?
I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the Order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
It must have been Emma I saw in my vision. I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay. I've got a question that might seem a little bit strange.
I'm listening.
If I said go beyond the nightmare, would that ring any bells?
No, means nothing to me. Do you mean literally or figuratively speaking?
It might be a place, I don't know where, but it's a lead.
You ought to ask His Eminence. He knows the house and its estate very well, being a frequent visitor here.
Thanks for the advice. Should I
Okay.
speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge. I better keep that to myself for the time being.
Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
I don't think that would be a good thing to say.
You will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest.
But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
And who is this charming character?
Manuel Godoy, the Duke of La Alcudia.
He's the head of the Spanish government, Monsieur de Richet. He's the one who, in practice, controls Spain.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined. What?
Oh, no.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh, dear.
Oh, as if...
Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous. Bastard. He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote. Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until this, anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Oh.
Gentlemen, Duchess,
We're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to manage the conflicts of our nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
I fully agree with you, sir.
But
That's enough, sir.
with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richer.
Are you related to Sarah de Richer?
Sarah is his mother, Duke. Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Okay. See you later, alligator.
Could you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you too. Of course.
I heard about your mother's disappearance.
It looks...
Okay, vulnerable. Oh, we don't know anything. Oh, shit. That means I'm gonna have to use Devil's Horn now.
Concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Well, let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
Hear you speak, it sounds like you and my mother were close.
Let's say I hold your mother in high esteem, yes. We were even planning to work together.
That's what he was getting at.
Did she tell you about our arrangement?
The cat's out of the bag now. More or less, but please do refresh my memory.
Yes, of course. Nothing of great importance in itself. During one of our discussions, she spoke of an old book, which might have been of interest to me, and she had agreed to let me have it.
A book about what?
Ancient occultism. As you are aware, I am a doctor of theology. You might have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
The least one can say is that he doesn't beat around the bush. Sarah never travels without a few books. What does the one you're looking for look like exactly?
It resembles a grimoire. It's divided into 7 parts, each one individually locked. It was made in such a way that if someone tried to tamper with it, the sheets would be permanently tarnished. It's a unique copy. There's only one.
The mere mention of it makes his face light up. Well, I'll take a closer look, but I can't promise you anything. You seem very upset. Is it so important to you, this book?
Well, it's the search of a lifetime. What can I say? Every time I move closer to it, it seems to slip away at the last minute. I was very surprised to learn that your mother had it in her possession. I thought it was with a certain von Borchardt in Paris. Do you know him?
Indeed. One of your close friends?
No, not really, but we were close once. Precisely over the case that concerns us now, because he claimed to have the book I'm looking for.
Another dishonest person. What can you say? Can't trust anyone these days, huh?
No. No. You can't.
I hope I've been able to satisfy your curiosity, Mr. von Volner, and that you succeed in finding what you're looking for.
Oh, and so do I.
And now, what if you told me who you really are working for, instead of keeping up this pretense?
I beg your pardon?
We both know what you're looking for, von Volner. You're the one who von Burchert was planning to sell it to.
For centuries, all those who have come into contact with the Al-Azif have bitterly regretted it, Monsieur de Richet. You are playing a dangerous game. Please know that I am working for someone who does not appreciate anyone poking around in his business.
Let me guess. Your dear king, I should think.
What? You mean Frederick William? Oh, my poor fellow. You are miles away. That stupid, pretentious puppet wields no real power.
Well,
But
probably Holm.
seeing as you do not wish to be serious, so be it. Good luck to you.
Probably Holm. Let's see. We should be able to open this one up now.
There's a pattern with 5 circles on this chest. I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Oh, it is 4 golden elixir in it. Damn. Okay. Hope we don't have any need of that right now.
Chronicles of the Amber Princes. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
Been in here before, so shouldn't be any new surprises.
Monsieur Bonaparte, may I speak with you a moment?
May we?
Does expression "go beyond the nightmare" mean anything to you at all?
Well, metaphorically, yes. It sums up the career of a soldier quite well. I doubt that is what you want to hear, though.
Indeed.
That's surely not what I'm looking for.
Well, monsieur, if you are looking for a phrase book, Lord Mortimer must surely have one, given the number of books he has. You ought to check in the library of the tower. You never know.
Good idea.
What do you think of Duke Godoy?
Well, I'd rather not express any opinion of him.
Why is that?
His reputation is enough for me.
Meaning?
This gentleman enjoys people talking about him for too many reasons. His undeserved titles, more than 10 in just 4 years, and each one more prestigious than the one before.
You don't think he deserves them?
If I had seen him on the battlefield, there might be some doubt. But that is not the case. The Queen would rather not risk losing him, so she consoles him with awards and titles.
So you don't have a very positive opinion?
His coveting French Catalonia does not encourage me to have one.
I understand your point of view.
Okay.
Would you have any more information about the conference Lord Mortimer spoke of?
Nothing at all. Mortimer is very committed to secrecy when it comes to his conferences. But given the presence of Monsieur Peru and ourselves, I think it must concern France to some extent. Otherwise, I doubt he would have invited 3 Frenchmen to his table, huh?
Okay.
Well, I'll be leaving you now. Shall we meet up again later?
Wait, monsieur. Any news of your mother?
Unfortunately not, no.
I hope to speak with her about my deal before I leave. Let me know if you find her. À plus tard, monsieur.
Plutard. Okay, Okay, so we should go to the tower, huh? Upstairs. We should go to the dining room. Sure, there's nothing here. We'll chat with Washington.
Go beyond the nightmare. Does this line remind you of anything in particular?
You've caught me unaware here, Louis. Let me think about it a second. No, nothing comes to mind. Sorry, Louis, but I am unable to help you.
Mr. President, what do you think about your counterpart, Duke Manuel?
I'm very surprised he was able to accept Lord Mortimer's invitation, given the political situation in Spain.
What do you mean?
The situation is ready to explode with France over Catalonia.
Well, the Duke must have a darn good reason to be absent and come here, mustn't he?
When Lord Mortimer invites you, Louis, you come. It's always in your best interest.
I wouldn't say that personally, but... Mr. President, can you tell me a little more about the coming conference?
Of course, Louis. That's why we're here. Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory regularly organize meetings like this to put forward major projects.
What do you mean by major projects?
I'd prefer to let Lord Mortimer explain that to you, Louis. Let's say he brings together influential people in order to consider possible actions to undertake to guarantee the future of nations.
Do you know the theme of the conference?
Not in the slightest. None of the guests know the theme before arriving. But you'll see, everything will turn out fine. Don't worry.
I'm not worried.
Well, thank you for your time.
Don't mention it, my young friend. Regarding your question on the nightmare, don't hesitate to question the others about it. Maybe one of them knows more than I do.
That's a good idea. Thank you once again. I'll see you in a little bit.
The Tyranny King, Washington. Where was that? Think what? He should know.
Ah, Louis. Just the man. Good Lord. How did the king come to be executed? I would think that the order would have intervened.
Your Eminence, I'm sorry for King Louis, but he did everything to put himself there.
Louis, how can you say such a thing? Even if France rejects the church, you don't go and behead a person of high status. They always serve our cause better alive than dead. Politically, it's absurd.
I invite you to speak about it with my mother as soon as she reappears.
Is there any news of her?
Should have checked that one.
Well, I hope it won't be long before I find her, Your Eminence.
Now you wanted to speak to me.
If I say the nightmare to you, does it make you think of anything?
Your question is strange, my son. Difficult to say. Could you at least tell me a little more about the context?
Think of a place and tell me the first thing that comes into your mind when I say the nightmare.
Let me think. I'd say Lord Mortimer's favorite painting on the wall behind his desk. You know, that painting caused quite a stir when it was exhibited. It is titled The Nightmare, and it shows a woman lying down with a creature sitting on her. And in the background, a horse. I don't know if it will be of any help, but I can't think of anything else.
You never know. Thank you for that, though, Your Eminence.
Huh.
I gotta go and see it just in case, though. I'm sure a man like you is in the circle of trust. Would you know what the conference that Lord Mortimer mentioned is going to be about?
Not really, my son. Well, be it Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory, we are never informed about the theme of the conference before it begins.
I was wondering what to think of that Manuel Godoy.
He is reputed to be a very ambitious character, at every level. But his faith is unwavering. He is a staunch defender of the church. You can believe me.
Okay.
Thank you for everything, Your Eminence. I shan't take up any more of your time.
Ah,
You
should
are
have checked
welcome, my
that.
son.
His
I
immunity
will be
before I
seeing
did.
you.
Go to the study in a
The
second.
lock is surrounded by a triple circle.
What?
The lock is surrounded by a triple circle.
Okay. I would have thought that would be it. Didn't have anything. Let's check. Or nation or something to pick up in here.
Atrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
Let's see. Okay, so back in that secret room. I picked up everything in here.
The Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near, his brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything.
I haven't been here.
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
Ah. Okay, we need one more key for that then. Locksmith's art. that one, and this goes out to...
Honey, the remedy of the gods.
Come on. Okay. Oh shit. Wrong. Thinking about that heart shape. Go in my room. Nope. Do. We'll shelter her.
What do you want, Louis?
What do you think of our last guest?
Well, I never thought I would get the chance to meet that Hispanic Casanova in the flesh. His reputation is well known. The gentleman collects lovers, including, would you believe it, the Queen of Spain.
Okay.
I doubt that Lord Mortimer invited him for his charm, if you want my opinion.
Oops.
You're leaving me?
Unfortunately, I have things to do. Thank you again, madam.
Yeah, I am ditching you.
So, what did my mother mean by going beyond the nightmare?
There was nothing else. We opened that one. Read this one before.
Book of the Mortimer family.
Okay. Didn't say anything.
The Coup de Lance by Paul Rubens. It's a book on the history of the Crusades. I don't think it has any connection with my research.
Oh, but I'm curious.
No, what have we got here? Well, it looks like a model of a lock. It's as if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Well, I hope I never have to try and unlock it.
Dear Mr. Guido Poletti, I'm writing with regard to the dates of the paintings I sent you for a temporary exhibition. Please note that they are part of my private collection, are dated according to the Freemasons calendar, AL in use at the time. As you may well have guessed, you must remember to subtract 4,000 years if you don't want the public to be surprised at the dating of the works. No need to remind you that the Freemasons year, AL, begins in March, not January. But the Longinus painting, I took the liberty to have the spear touched up so it better corresponds to the actual spear. Cannot urge you strongly enough to do the same for yours. Yours sincerely, Lord William Alexander Mortimer, Marquis of Westfordshire. Counts for the year 1792. 1856 pounds food, 200 pounds candles, And the rest okay. Remember to reduce wood consumption next year. Yeah, and 280,000 pounds of master paintings, huh?
Let's take a closer look. Judging by the shape, I'd say they're Criollo cocoa beans. The chocolate of the Mayas, the rarest of the beans. Some even say they're an aphrodisiac. When a product is in fashion, people attribute all sorts of virtues to it, not to be given to animals.
I was thinking take one and feed it to the bird. I guess that's something we shouldn't do, huh? Why does that require two?
That's what you generally feed birds. Might come in handy. A mynah bird. Well, Waldo, is your master good? Sarah Deriche? Waldo, you know Sarah?
Doesn't look to be a real bird, is it? You actually take the red berries?
The nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. Now just need to find out what she meant by go beyond. Hey, looks like it's mounted on rails on each side. It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere. The nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. Now just need to find out what she meant by go beyond.
It's something else we have to
looks like it's mounted on rails on each side.
Move it.
It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere. Aha! I found it. Oh, what on earth is this? A ring lock now? Great. That's all I needed.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Now, what have we got here? Oh, it looks like a model of a lock. It's as if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Well, I hope I never have to try and unlock it.
Let's see. Right here, dates of the paintings. We just subtract 4,000 years. No, what if 4000 will be the code, huh? Or or if it's something with these numbers. Food, candles, dress stone, marble wood, stained glass, master paintings, fabric, wine, water, powder. Huh. This one says Wald all the time.
A mina bird.
Tell me the door code. Here I am talking to a bird. Shame on me. Well, Waldo, is your master good? I don't really know what I was expecting. Sarah de Riche? Waldo, you know Sarah? What? Repeat that, Waldo. Sarah? What about Sarah? Good God, what's been happening here? Tell me the door code.
Okay.
Here I am talking to a bird. Shame on me. Sarah de Riche? Waldo, you know Sarah? What? Repeat that, Waldo. Sarah? What about Sarah?
Okay.
Good God, what's been happening here?
Let's take a closer look. Dark chocolate beans. Very bitter. They're greatly prized in high society. This painting isn't finished. And it looks like Mortimer probably did it. Not bad, but you can't exactly say it's been done in the style of the period.
Okay.
History of the First Crusades by Pierre Amédée de la Salle. Hey, the dates indicate AL, and it looks like 4,000 years have been added to our calendar. Oh, that counting system again. The Crusades took place not long after the year 1000. Here all the dates say 5,000 and something. I'm guessing this dating system begins 4,000 years before the calendar that we use. Yet, I'm getting the feeling that there's something else, another small detail, but what is it? The author is Pierre Amédée de la Salle, none other than the Grand Master of the Masonic Lodge of Paris. Now I understand why the dates are offset. He's using dates based on the Anno Lucis, year 0 of the Masonic calendar, by adding 4,000 years to the Gregorian calendar. But I thought that calendar starts in March.
That will be 1,000.
The famous call of Pope Urban II. 20 years after the capture of Jerusalem from the Arabs by the Turks, Urban II convened the council. He promises a plenary indulgence to Christians who go and get Jerusalem back from the Turks. The result, the Jewish community on the road to Jerusalem found itself persecuted for no reason. 12,000 Jews would perish. Not to mention the massacre of Ma'ara, where acts of cannibalism by Frankish crusaders were reported, or even the capture of Jerusalem, where approximately 30,000 were left dead. It signaled the beginning of centuries of wars of religion. Or how Louis VII, King of France, eager to be pardoned for the death of thousands of innocent people in the fire of the Church of Vitry, convinces the Pope to authorize him to lead his own crusade. The result? In Germany, a new outburst of violence against the Jewish community, and a monumental fiasco by poor Louis VII, cuckolded by his wife's uncle.
Was the second, I think he was fascinated a bit.
The famous call from Pope Gregory VIII in his Audita Tremendi bull of 5,187. Oh, the crusade where Richard the Lionhearted distinguished himself. It states the first sea blockade of Saint-Jean d'Acre was broken in the 12th month of 5,190 AL, whereas the siege had been going on for 2 years.
Let's see. One.
Looks like there's a marker on number 1 on the second roller. Doesn't work, damn it. I really thought I was close. 1,190. Isn't the right date when you subtract 4,000? I must have missed a subtlety.
Oh, he was adding something, right? He's adding something to that one.
History of the First Crusades by Pierre Amédée de la Sarde. Hey, the dates indicate AL, and it looks like 4,000 years have been added to our calendar. Oh, that counting system again. The famous call from Pope Gregory VIII in his Audita Tremendi bull of 5,187. Oh, the crusade where Richard the Lionhearted distinguished himself. It states the first sea blockade of Saint-Jean d'Acre was broken in the 12th month of 5,190 AL, whereas the siege had been going on for 2 years.
So... this is kind of contradicting itself, though.
The famous call from Pope Gregory VIII in his Audita Tremendi bull of 5,187. Oh, the crusade where Richard the Lionhearted distinguished himself. It states the first sea blockade of Saint-Jean d'Acre was broken in the 12th month of 5,190 AL, whereas the siege had been going on for 2 years.
Does that make it 1188 then?
The famous call from Pope Gregory VIII in his Audita Tremendi bull of 5,187. Oh, the crusade where Richard the Lionhearted distinguished himself. It states the first sea blockade of Saint-Jean d'Acre was broken in the 12th month of 5,190 AL, whereas the siege had been going on for 2 years.
Let's see, and that one counted In 12 month. They start in the month of March.
The famous call from Pope Gregory VIII in his Audita Tremendi bull of 5,187. Oh, the crusade where Richard the Lionhearted distinguished himself. It states the first sea blockade of Saint-Jean d'Acre was broken in the 12th month of 5,190 AL, whereas the siege had been going on for 2 years.
So 5889 plus 2 years. Why does it say? Well, 5889 plus 2, that makes it 1191 then. Oh, right. I think. Oh, I heard a click.
Open sesame.
Let's see, a dagger or something. A note.
Let's see what you've been hiding, Lord Murderer.
My dearest Lord Mortimer, I regret to inform you that it will soon be impossible to ignore pressure from the Russians. Tsarina Catherine has every intention of supporting the Count of Provence and will recognize him as the regent of the Kingdom of France, once King Louis has disappeared from the political stage. I'm sorry to announce bad news, but expect dark times ahead. Your friend, Elfried Bauer.
A fine-looking map of the Orient, indeed.
Oh. Sir, your plans to intervene in Belgium are to go ahead as set down, and to occupy the Prussian army. The delivery of cannons to Valmy has ensured our victory. As agreed, I have notified the King of Prussia of the invasion plans of Custine and the army of the north. I will keep the Austrians out of Belgium. I am to quickly return to Paris as I sense the fate of our King Louis is about to be decided dishonorably, and it is impossible for me to not intervene. Should you have any missives to give to me, I invite you to go by. As per usual, our friend, Monsieur Peru. Sincerely yours, Charles Francois de Morons, General of the Army of the North.
It's locked.
My dearest Lord Mortimer, as a friend of China, rest assured that you will be rewarded for your information. You need not to worry about any scheming against us from Great Britain. The representative, Mr. McCartney, will leave with no hope of any arrangements involving us. Your friend, One Long, Emperor of the Indian. William, whatever your products, it would seem that our father is against leaving you with a grip on Europe. Russia will soon commit itself to coalition against your dear France. Don't think you can resist for long. I beseech you, William, not to persist. You're tearing our family apart. Your loving brother G. Yes, I shall come to your conference, but do you think that holding it at the present moment is conductive?
It shows the forces present in Europe. It's clear that France is surrounded by her enemies. However, a large number has been underlined in bold. 26 million. I know what it is. It's an estimation of my country's population. All our neighbors have far fewer inhabitants.
My dear friend, thank you for your words, and I do understand your situation. I regret having to confront you militarily. But if the situation obliges me to declare war, then do what you think fit. Under your advisement and with a weary heart, I am off to meet up with the coalition that opposes you, in the hope of serving you again, George, King of Hanover, King of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Let's see if you have the courage to face me. Oh.
This is my mother's writing. I've picked up her trail. What is she up to? Obviously, she wants to lure Mortimer somewhere, but where? The only clue she's left for Mortimer is his stone sword. It must be intentional. It looks like a decorative sword, like from a statue, for example. And judging by the state of it, I'm guessing it's been left outside for a long time. I have absolutely got to find out where it came from.
Huh. My dear friend, as decided, I have been able to gather together my friends to sign the agreement you proposed. This agreement shall be known as the Buttonwood Agreement. If you recall the place where we gathered when you met us for the first time, you would understand why this name was given. Please find and close a list of my colleagues. Okay, blah 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 blah, a lot of names. Thanks to your help, we should soon be able to meet at my place, the Tontin Coffee House. I look forward to seeing you as soon as possible. Hugh Smith. My dear friend, with thanks for your services rendered and help in the fight against the Spanish and the conquest of Oran, ship bound for Marseille in France has been chartered. Hidden aboard are a few corpses infected with the plague that is decimating our country at this moment in time. Be very careful when handling these boxes because if inadvertently opened, you risk spreading the disease all over France. Mohammed El Kabir. Huh.
This shows the forces present in America.
A lot of information, huh? The gift has been delivered. Timur Shah Durrani, King of the Afghanistan, of Punjab, of Sindh, of Mashhad, and of Kashmir should not retain his title much longer. His son, Saman, will succeed him as planned. We will then be able to resume negotiations. Okay. Manipulating the whole place. Well,
Weakness of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Trimore. He says, it is possible to drill an idea into someone by constant daily repetition until the mind gives in. And goes on, there are hundreds of good ways to live life, but you only need one to convince the masses that it's the only one possible. The author isn't letting any ethical principles get in his way, is he?
My lord, I hope this letter will reach you. My hours are numbered. My printing house has been confiscated and I'm imprisoned in the fortress of Schlisselburg. By chance you could intervene in my favor, I would be eternally in your debt. The Kasarina Catherine should not be long in banning all Golden Order lodges from her territory. Our horizon has become considerably darker, in the hope that you can help me, your friend Nikolai Novikov. The Russians are putting... That might be what the meeting is going to be about then, huh? My dear Lord Mortimer, I'm writing to ask you to persuade President Washington not to sign the Fugitive Slave Act as it stands. We must absolutely legislate on a national level and not allow every state to choose the policy regarding slaves. It was initially intended to resolve a conflict between Pennsylvania and Virginia. By signing it, we could risk legislating the hunting of blacks. More and more of men little faith are becoming slave hunters, and unable to find any slaves on the run, they kidnap the first black they come across, which they pass off as the wanted runaway. The situation threatens to quickly degenerate. Thank you in advance, your friend John Adams. P.S. Say hello to my daughter Elizabeth for me. In YouTube here. Which we found new but for.
It shows the forces present in Africa. This is unexpected activity in this sector. It looks like there are also many unknowns, even for Mortimer.
Okay. Did read that one. Here then.
Preservation using formaldehyde. Just as disgusting as ever.
Mali Corporis Fabrica.
Something strange about this table. What kind of experiments does Mortimer carry out here? It's a dissection table. So Mortimer does autopsies here on his desert island. But who is he doing autopsies on then? The little surgeon's perfect collection.
So, science is community. We're good at it.
A skeleton by the name of Gustav, if the plaque on the plinth is anything to go by. Mortimer's given a name to his anatomy skeleton. That's morbid. Oh, his right hand is missing. These are feathers. Pigeon, probably.
Heck?
Strange. I don't recognize the alphabet. I wonder where the pictograms are from. It isn't Egyptian or Hebrew. There are two inscriptions on the sides as well as on the top. No way to know what's underneath. Absolutely no idea what it's for, but I find this cube fascinating. Looks like obsidian or onyx. It must weigh a ton.
Dear Lord Mortimer, as agreed, I have changed your old lock for one of my invention. Drawing inspiration from your doctor friend Mr. Guillotine, here is the model of your new lock, if you appreciate my prototype. It is difficult to imagine how it all fits together, but it will be located in the middle of the present door. The aim being to alter nothing of the door's functionality, but to add a bit of spice. Depending on the lineup of the wheels, a aforementioned lock will open or will punish the snooper whose faith is not strong enough. I call my invention the Judgment of Faith, because if a snooper is unable to resist opening, they will be punished. I hope you will appreciate the irony of the situation. Gustav Montrent, Master Architect. Lord Mortimer, the tiger is dying. On your demand, I have attacked Travancore and personally cut the throats of as many Englishmen as possible. Though without help from the French, I cannot hold them off much longer. My forces are rapidly diminishing in spite of your new rockets. Help us. Tipu Shahid, Sultan of Mysore. Dear friend, who is the most admirable of all of the Olympians? None other than the king of the gods, of course. Unlike his father Kronos, he learned to make equal use of his strength and wisdom. Instead of fearing the power of his children and brothers, he accepted to share the world with them. Men fear his thunder and praise his justice. He reigns but doesn't dominate.
Look, a pack of tarot cards. Has he been reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me. It is a typical draw on a line that answers a specific question.
To the left, temperance. That announces a reward for one who patiently waits before taking any action. And in the middle, the chariot, which symbolizes triumph and business success. To the right, the Emperor evokes a future full of power and stability. Some goat skulls, chicken legs. Now we all know what that's for. I'm a little surprised at Mortimer. I didn't seem as the type to be organizing little pagan parties, invoking occult powers, and dancing naked under the full moon. I'm more used to seeing cheap charms like this sold by charlatans in Pré Saint-Gervais. 3 rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters long. That must be for writing the homing pigeon messages.
Where did I get one of those now all of a sudden?
An iron mask. I wonder who it's for.
Dear Lord Mortimer, be assured of my entire devotion. As agreed, when the peasantry will soon rise up, my network is striving to increase the pressure on the masses. The decision of the assembly, which consists of voting the civil constitution of the clergy, is inflaming the region. The people overwhelmingly reject the priest and swear loyalty to the state. If you could ensure that the convention will administer the final blow to the people, the issue will be resolved. Without wishing to direct you, forced recruitment for a faraway conflict would be a perfect way to arouse the people. Definitely. Your devoted servants, François Anthony Charette de la Contrie.
Am I seeing things, or is that an actual von Leeuwenhoek microscope? Incredible. Mortimer really is at the cutting edge of science. Even at the Order, it took us ages to get one of those. A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
Maybe we still need to find another one now.
Great. Honey.
My dearest friend, our plans are going ahead wonderfully well. The Coinage Act has been voted. Your project of funding the very first Bank of America should not be delayed and will probably be called Union Bank. As for the construction of the White House, it is still died to begin in October. I will accept no delays. You can trust me on this. I hope to see you soon, Thomas Jefferson, Secretary of State. I mean, he has his fingers in everything, doesn't he? I think we have checked everything here. I miss what I keep here. You're probably gonna have to come back here later.
A table of alchemical elements. So, Lord Mortimer also studies alchemy? It seems like he's interested in everything.
That was gone.
Oh shit. How am I gonna get out of here now?
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side. Looks like the same as the one on the other side.
Could it be the same? 791?
Whoa, whoa. If the grid closes a bit more every time I enter a wrong date, I'd better not mess up again. Yet I'm sure there's a connection with the date that I've entered earlier to open the door. Maybe I'm not approaching the problem from the right angle.
Oh.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
791 to enter. Oh, think of this shit. Question is from which side are we reading this now? Oh, wait. That must be it then. 1191, right?
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
No? Or does it?
Wheels are stuck. Shit! I'm cornered like a rat.
Or it should have been the other way around then, as it was from the outside then. Oh.
Someone's coming. Please don't let it be Mortimer. Who is it?
Deliberately avoiding me. 4 years ago, I was his favorite. But nowadays, I have to ask for an audience with his lordship.
Damn it! It's Peru. I don't know if I should, but...
Well, that's it. I've had enough of being humiliated.
I'm wasting my time here.
After everything I've done on his behalf, he dares treat me like a lackey? I've bled the Parisian elite for the sake of his whims, and what have I got to show for it? Doesn't even have the courtesy to give me 5 minutes of his time. I wanted to put my mind at ease. Well, that's done. I know what I've got to do now.
I must find my mother. So much for discretion.
Monsieur Peru! It's me! Monsieur de Riche!
What the devil is going on?
I need your help!
Where are you, de Riche?
Behind the painting! Open it, please! I've shut myself in! There's a pedal under Lord Mortimer's desk. Can you see it?
There's no... Hang on. Yes.
Good. Now press it.
Yeah. Done.
You should see something resembling a frame with numbers. Yes? You have to turn them to set the combination. 1191.
I should have done, I didn't think of that. It had to be the opposite way there.
poking our nose into Mortimer's little secrets, are we? You do surprise me.
It's not what you're thinking. I'll explain everything.
No, you will not, sir. It has nothing to do with me, and by the way, I never even saw you. So, I'll be on my way now.
Thanks again. I'm indebted to you. I won't forget this.
Yeah. Goodbye.
But he wasn't. I don't think he was the one who killed her. I think he was.
I've wasted
used
enough time.
as an
I better get moving
scapegoat.
if I want to find my mother.
What do you mean finally? Failed. Should just thought about opening the other way around and had that 9 be on the outside and have the opposite number for me. Okay. Which ones we have it? Up 1, 2. 3. Okay. Should we put it in, huh? This one seems good.
This note is about a meeting with Lord Mortimer. There's no doubt about it. All right, I need to find out where the sword that came with it's from in order to find Mother.
Yeah, it should be out in the garden then, right?
You're joking, I hope. Don't tell me you've done that.
Really? How do you expect me to guess?
Oh, for God's sake, just ask them. We must absolutely inform Sir Gregory. How long has he been trying to collect all the spears?
I must have brought him the first one 20-odd years ago.
Do you know if he has managed to get the original?
Well, in any case, he's got all the ones we had at the Vatican. He made me replace them with copies. But I don't understand your reaction. I'm sure it is nothing serious.
Aha. I can see very well you do not understand. You have done nothing less than sign our death warrants, and still you don't understand.
Someone is listening.
What? Monsieur de Richet, why not join us rather than find yourself eavesdropping?
I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Of course you didn't. So, my son, what can we do for you?
I didn't mean to spy on you, but you caught my attention.
Oh shit. see here. Don't know about him, but questioning and manipulation.
You brought spears as well, then?
What? Did Mortimer ask you to bring him holy spears too?
Yes, but I thought I was the only one. How many of them have you brought, then?
18 in all. Any relic even remotely to do with them, in fact.
18 spears? How many of them exist in all?
No one knows. Especially as there is only one authentic one, of course. That all adds to the mystery, don't you think?
Well, please leave us, monsieur. His Eminence and I wish to finish our discussion alone.
Okay. Spear of Destiny. No. All I came to think of. That means we need to down this, right? Can't go into any of the rooms. Okay. Everything is closed off. Okay, let's go outside then. Or to the garden downstairs. Oh, golden maxed out there. Oh, their little friend is out there.
Honey, the remedy of the gods.
Wonder what he's doing here now.
You again? God damn it, are you following me?
Wouldn't dream of it, sir.
What brings you here?
Okay, what was he? Apology. How was he immune? Immunity, that's why I wanted to be questioning. He's immune to that. Damn, why is it costing so much?
I'm still looking for my mother, of course.
You're right, monsieur. Keep looking. Good luck to you.
Yeah, I don't think I should. I got rope going here.
Ariadne,
In Greek mythology, she helped Theseus get through the labyrinth. Looks like there's a crack in the region of the heart. The state the stone of the statue is in reminds me of the sword. I'll bet my boots this is where Mother wanted to lure Mortimer. Just need to know why. I guide the sword that will kill the monster. Let's see. A crack as long as my finger. And what's going to happen if I've got it wrong?
Just check the outskirt first. Re-enter it. See if there's any pickup. Okay.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
See if there is stuff to pick up first. This way. Yeah, nope.
Daedalus. He's the architect of the labyrinth. And if I'm not mistaken, he's also the father of Icarus. Hey, there's a crack in this statue too. The crack is thin and about as long as a finger. I am the architect of my own demise.
The question is, I might need to have the sword with me then. Any points on all these just to
Pasiphae, daughter of Perseus and sister of Circe. She married Minos and became the queen of Crete. She has no cracks. All right, let's continue anyways. I wonder what this kiosk is doing in the middle of the garden. Too cramped to be able to do much. Well, there must be something going on there.
probably.
What is that? It's like a sort of opening mechanism. Knowing Mortimer, I bet it's booby-trapped. There's a little hole at the fingers. I'm pretty sure if I get it wrong, I'll get pricked. Damn you, Mortimer. Reminds me of traps I studied in Egyptian tombs.
Okay, so now we got another key. I think that's the key now to... What's... Buddy?
Theseus,
naked.
son of Aegeus. He's the one who slayed the Minotaur. Looks like a crack has been made on his torso. As long as a finger. I'd say between 6 and 8 centimeters. I wonder if Mother managed to solve this enigma. Minos, son of Zeus and Europa. If I remember correctly, he was the king of Crete. Married to Pasiphae, he had many children, including the famous Ariadne, whom history remembers for her thread. Hey, there's a crack in that statue. The crack is in the region of the heart. It's a thin crack as long as a finger. A blade could easily enter.
That's probably where we need to put the...
Asterion. It is rare to see him like this. In general, he's represented with the head of a bull, with the features of the Minotaur.
The famous son of Minos and Pasiphae.
The statue has a crack in it. The crack is thin and about as long as a finger. I should be able to thrust in my sword. Let's go.
Hmm? We can enter, right? I think I should get the sword back.
Icarus. The son of Daedalus and Nocrate. Impossible to mistake him with those wings. After flying too close to the sun, they came unstuck and he fell to his death. Pity. Hey, there's no crack here. Well, let's keep going.
Okay.
Ariadne.
Get the sword.
Try something else.
So it's either... either this one or is this?
A Styrion. This statue has a crack in it. Right. We'll soon see.
No. What?
A Styrion.
Assuming it has to do with her. It ends here though. Question if it should be in him though. Oh, something.
Theseus. Looks like a crack has been made on his torso.
I don't think that's him either. Yes, it's the end of the rope. I'm gonna try it, but I think it's the other one.
Theseus. Let's try something else instead.
This is the father.
Minos. The crack is in the region of the heart.
If it is, it tells us where the rope ends. Also all the way around, or if I need to stab everybody by the going along the rope. That could be it. Must be something like that. Right?
Minos.
Have to do something in the middle now? Oh, there's something here.
It looks like this slab moves. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a passageway underneath it. It's up to the just to deliver judgment. Truth unlocks all possibilities.
We try this, since that's his... Does nothing, I guess. Oh, it was the correct one! Yeah! Yes, it was her father. Got it right. Oh, it was a good guess. It worked. Wonder what would happen otherwise, though.
Ah!
Crap, we having one of those moments.
Again?
You can't be serious, Manuel. You know that's not going to happen.
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything. Even to...
Agreed? I wasn't aware you had a choice.
What's going on here?
What now? What else must I do to win back my freedom?
Obey me. Now get out.
Like home is behind a lot of stuff.
What was that? That's the third time in 3 days. Let's see if you're in there, Mother.
Okay.
Amber.
Amber.
Bandages? Someone's been patching themselves up. Looks like my mother took advantage of being in hiding to change her bandages, huh? This is silk. She must have used her own clothes. There are patches where the blood isn't totally clotted. That's a good sign, right? She changed them recently, which proves she's still looking after herself and still believes in her chances. Well, I'd love to tell her to keep hanging in there. A Chinese coin, recognizable by the hole in the middle. If I remember rightly, that's called a cash.
Okay. One of the servants, huh?
Damn it, Mother. Now what's happened?
Could have found someone important in the crypt? By doing what differently? Okay. Like, what else could I have done? See what one of those two.